we'll go ahead and move on to additional. Okay, show us at 8:14 back. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next briefing, which is we'll have our finance director come over and talk. So, LaNet, you're up.
You're already doing something.
There we go. Go ahead and take care of that. All right.
So here's our billings for the month.
Awesome.
So we finally have this working where it's supposed to, so I can give this printout to y'all every month. It took us a while. Virginia's been wonderful at getting this corrected. So we had 37 disconnects on there, but if you look, we had 28 new. A lot of those disconnects were Rosh Coleman. So those were house sales and then reconnects.
Okay.
And then there was 4 or 5 on there that were sales from houses that the people that sold their land that we're just waiting to see what's going to happen with those. On the bottom there, you'll see the donations that we brought in for the animal care, the animal shelter, and the spay. We are tracking that now, so it can be allocated over to
Move it over to
Santiago
theirs.
correctly.
Awesome.
Yep. Fire donations, you can see we brought in $1,100. We are sending that out to the fire department monthly. Garbage collection and gas collection, library donations. I'm also going to make sure that starts going out to Cassandra, that's her name.
Awesome.
Yeah. Kidding. Cassandra, every month as well, to make sure that she gets that in her stuff. And then of course what we billed for sewer and water. So overall we had a little over 5,000 entries for the month when it
Awesome.
comes to our billings.
I have a question real quick. I'm just curious about the fire donations.
Yeah.
You don't need to name them, but are these corporate donations, personal?
No, these come on, it's on our billings. So every month when they come in and do billings, they can
Donate.
They donate money
Oh,
through their billings.
and you get that much in? Is that
And that's
pretty?
been,
It could be anywhere.
that's been pretty
between-
steady over the
yeah.
years that I've been in charge at the firehouse. That's a pretty steady number
Around
from the
1,200
city.
is what I kind of averaged when we were looking at that.
Great.
Yeah.
So that, the animal donations is low. We're usually getting a little bit more than that.
But the good thing is that now we're tracking it and it's going.
Mhm.
So, you know, Cassandra can benefit in doing stuff over at the library, and Santi can also benefit, especially as we start doing some more adoptions. You know, we take care of some of the spay and neuter and stuff like that, so that'll help out.
So one thing that was brought up to me, I do want to mention to y'all that somebody had asked me that, you know, that the city doesn't pay sales tax. We actually do. We are taxed upon garbage and gas, where I pay anywhere between $4,500 to $6,000 to the comptroller every month. So we have to keep that in mind. But we are sales taxed on that we do have to pay back to the comptroller
Awesome.
to stay legal. Other than that, Paula's been working her butt off. We were a little over 3,000 off on taxes. We went from 200,000 out from the GL to ad valorem. We were at, I think, 3,700. She can't let it go. She's determined to find it. So we're almost to the point where it's 100% balanced, and I'm very excited to tell Deb that when she gets there, because we were out so bad last year. So that's what did I say? 0.008. Yeah.
That's
And,
awesome.
She just can't let that go. So.
Good.
But otherwise, and then
Good,
Matt
good.
told you everything about the budget. Do you have any questions about that? I can elaborate a lot how we came up with those.
Refresh my
numbers.
memory. When is Mrs. Frazier coming back for audit?
Second week of December.
Second week of December. Awesome, awesome.
Should be here like 2 days?
I'm good, but let's say 3 or 4 again.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 or 4. There's a lot of testing and stuff that we have to do to get through it, so it's a lot of,
So it should be good.
yeah. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you for all your help.
any questions?
Appreciate it. Council? No? Awesome. Thank you, LaNet. Thanks for everything. All right. There you go, Paula.
Mine.
Your turn. Oh, you putting it up there?
She hasn't. I'm
Okay.
waiting for someone to take it.
I got the thing.
That's the one.
City secretary. I'll explain in a minute.
Hello, Council. So for August, we had 10 permits. There's a new dwelling home, an office mobile home, a storage shed, slab extension, one addition, a fence, a patio cover, 1 solar panels, and a new travel center, and an enclosed greenhouse. For building inspections, we had 27 inspections total. 3 were plans review, 8 were framing, electrical, AC work, 0 on the drive and walkway, and 7 for the pre-port, and 9 on my finals. Most of them were from Rush Holding.
Okay.
22 inspections for the plumbing, 2 for the plans review, 4 rough-ins, 7 top-outs, 1 water and sewer, and then 8 final. Just for the taxes, all supplements are all, they're trying to update it with the Harris government. So trying to work on that to finish it off, hopefully this week, because we have to get ready to print our taxes for October. Office update, our new clerk, Rosario, she's been in training, she's been doing really great on our building permits. She's been on her own and she's doing really good. She picked it up real quick. And for our filing cabinets, she's been clearing everything up, purging all old files. So they're like, most of them are empty.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Putting everything out.
Good.
And she's been
All
helping
that.
me, so on
Yes.
top of that, she's been helping accounting a lot.
Awesome, awesome.
Didn't have much, but that's much had.
Yeah, I noticed all the boxes. So more and more boxes, so we can just put them in the retention storage, the ones that are.
We just hired in this like maybe about 2020, just to have enough years. Not a lot. They're all pretty like, small.
No, we appreciate it, Paula. Thank you for all your help. That's awesome. All right, here we go.
So everyone's been working well. I mean, if you're talking about cross-training within our office, it's actually occurring now. I mean, we're gonna have, when somebody takes out, the ability to, the cross-trained person to come in, step in, just like we do at the police department, you know, and you're never gonna know it as a resident here, which is kind of neat, what we're looking forward to. And I'm hoping we can do more with less. So we hope to have the new software for the building permit process. They've actually already started some of their work to build it. That way we can go live with it in the next budget year. I don't know exactly when yet, but we'll go from there. And you'll see some similarities. Myself, Paula, and Cassandra all somehow wound up with the exact same format for our PowerPoint this month. I don't know how that even happened. I saw hers and I was like, Jesus. So planning and zoning, open plats, we have the LD Cromer. I haven't heard much back from them. They've been sent their stuff from our engineer. I haven't heard anything back. And then Lytle Farms, Unit 1, Saddle Ridge Phase 2. And those are just big construction projects. They're back and forth nonstop. Open annexation item, we still have the Lytle Travel Center. I think that is set for the 10th. I'll have to look at that. Actually, I think it's the 10th. It needs to be moved to the 11th. I think we have a city holiday. I'll look at that.
Okay.
RFPs and RFQs for the Lakeshore Estates Drainage Master Plan and the Stormwater. They've both been reviewed by legal and ready to be issued. And then the 2023 CDBG for administrative services and engineering services have both been issued and closed. We've received 2 that we'll have to go through for the administrative side. I'll check again, but I don't believe we've received any from the engineering side. 2023 budget, we've worked through that tonight. Saddle Ridge, I've highlighted the updates to this and added some pictures. So phase 1, I went out there today. It's planned for 69 total homes. As of today, it appears that they're just looking at it. When I drove through this morning, there's about 32 of them that I could tell were occupied, people physically living there. 32 of them were under some phase of construction, whether it's the whole home waiting to be sold or they're still constructing it. And there was only 5 empty lots where there's still dirt on the ground. They're still waiting to do foundation. My understanding is they're waiting to finish those out to move on to phase 6 is the next one. Then phases 2 and 5, that's what they're working on now. Sewer's currently being installed. However, they've reached a time delay. They've discovered a bunch of rock in the ground. They've had to bring in different types of machine to break that rock up. It's kind of neat with them that D&D contractors is doing that work, and we're actually included in their monthly progress reports. So every month I get an email to saying that they send to Roush Coleman, It says where they are, their timeline, and photographs. That's where this photo is from. So I don't know if you've seen it out there lately. But up in the top right, of course, there's all the homes. That's phase 1. Phase 6 is directly below it with the streets. You can see how it's already ready to go. Phases 2 and 5 are to the left of that. And then the back section way up there at the top is your phases 3 and 4, I believe, were the two I'm missing.
Yeah.
They did them way out of order. But that's your progress right there on that. Rosewood Estates, they're currently installing the water and sewer lines. However, they too have a delay. They discovered a bunch of rock. They actually brought in entire large machines and overshot their budget trying to go through the rock.
What are they doing with the rock?
That one they brought in, if you've seen it over on the west side of San Antonio, the big rock machines, kind of a rotary thing that just eats away at the rock. So that's what they're doing in their trenches to lay the water in.
I was just
sewer.
wondering if we could take some of that and maybe use it over at Lakeshore.
No,
Save us the
no.
cost of all that
No.
rock. It's just
It was
just
weird.
grab it and transport it over.
When I talked to the,
It's filled, because they crunch it up so fine, it can be used as fill for the pipe.
maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, they're running that machine through at that subdivision. The other one, they brought in just, I think, a jackhammer to break up the rock. In Saddle Ridge, in the first phase, they found some rock, but nothing like what they've
What they
encountered
found now?
across behind the Lytle State Bank area.
Wow.
The entire thing, he says, once you get so far down, it's just nothing but rock. So it's
Wow.
slowed them down some. And then Lytle Farms, no big updates on that yet. They're still working through some preliminary stuff. Other projects, the new employee handbook. So the staff here met. We went through the final process. We've made the suggested changes, and I sent it back to legal just to make sure we didn't mess up one last thing. And then we want to get that to council to start a review of it of a couple weeks, give y'all some time to look at it, and then get it formally adopted. The street light on Main Street, we're still awaiting the timeline from CPS Energy. Unfortunately, waiting for stuff from them takes a while. The speed limit signs on North Somerset and Cottage Street, James and them went out and installed the actual signs currently on the poles that we had, because we still have to order and drive up to
Also, the other side of Austin.
where at?
The other side of Austin.
The other side of Austin to buy the breakaway pieces. And so we're waiting for the new budget. So once they get the breakaway pieces in, they'll go through there and then actually replace all this signage on the road and get it up to par. North Somerset Street, the roadway fill at the bollards. I've talked to James on that. We need to go buy the pressure treated wood to do that, and then we can start the fill and in process and the road pavement there to finish that project. 6843 road closure. I've located a source in just shy of Dallas that actually sells the wooden bollards, guardrails, stuff like that we'll need. I'm trying to get prices from them, and that would close one side up. The other side, so we can still have access, we're looking at, I got to get a welder out there to price maybe building what would be gates. But we can't do anything there until we can get it all secured and ready to do it in one big wham with all the signage. So we're still working on that. It's just going to take some time on it.
Okay.
Drainage projects, the Adams Street, of course, we're hoping maybe that could be the CDBG project that we're working on, because drainage is one of their top priorities. Lakeshore Estates, we're waiting on that one. I'm still trying to gather information on the Live Oak Street and Mason Street. I'm not sure what that one is, so Mayor, I'll get with you and I'll get that, find where we're I don't really know what that one is yet. City contracts, that's where we are on that. Everything's good to go on that. Tax collection contract, again, we'll have to figure out what we're doing on that, whether we want to stay with what the county is using in their firm or go to a different firm, how we want to do it. That's the McDermott miscellaneous updates. Main Street, McDonald turn, it's meetings that I've been in. The turn lane right here, they're doing a different project now. The contractor, they did it too, they were down in
Karnes
County, Beanville, somewhere. They're doing that project. When they finish that one, they're then going to come up here and do this project up here. So hopefully, in the next few months, you'll see them up here putting their turn lane in.
And they're waiting for the equipment too, right? They're
Of course, they got traffic signal stuff. I mean, it's not just a simple project. They got to move and relocate stuff. We met with Lytle Farms in a PID meeting. They've got some more work to do there. Myself and the PD guys set through the training for the new sign out there. We met with GrantWorks on how to issue RFPs and RFQs on the CDBG, because there's a specific process you have to do. The TIA study, the well number 4 walkthrough, of course the employee handbook. Met with the VFW and the chamber on their upcoming plans for the next year on what they want to do and how the city can support them with maybe some hot tax money. I met with the park light vendor. hopefully that's still a go at some point, but we gotta wait for some other projects. We had the town hall meeting for the trailer park, and of course your department head meetings. Any other questions? I sent this out there when I'm gonna try to get some aerial shots of the Rosewood at the next meeting. I can bring my drone down and fly it up. That way we can kind of see what that. I haven't seen what it looks like yet from the air. It'd be nice to see what it looks like.
Yeah, well, that rock kind of explains the slope.
It's delayed them quite a bit and drove their cost pretty high from what I gather.
Ouch. Ouch. Oh.
Did nobody know we had this?
No, I talked to the engineer, just asked him, hey, did y'all not run? He goes, yeah, we didn't. We knew we had some in the Saddle Ridge Phase 1, so we anticipated maybe catching bits and pieces. I don't know if y'all saw it. I mean, they were pulling big rocks out of the ground, but they were able to handle it with machines they had. And when they got over to Rosewood, they said it was just pure rock, and they had to bring in all new machines to run through it.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, the one in Saddle Ridge, I mean, that has always been more like a brush, but over in the Rosewood area, that has been farming for a while, right? So it had all that rock underneath.
Well, when they put in Park Place, and we talked about what's before Park Place over there, Mr. Garcia did, he actually got dynamite and blasted. And so all over town, when they were doing that, you heard these explosions. Remember that?
I mean, to tell you, so Saddle Ridge, the first phase, they didn't really encounter much. It was bits and pieces. Phase 6, they didn't find any. Now they're over in 2 and 5, and they're finding pretty heavy
I'm
rock.
just
So
surprised.
apparently, that was the end of it. It's pushing back north.
Nobody ever dropped a water well over near Rosewood?
They do.
There is.
So Rosewood has a water well, but I guess whenever it was drilled years and years
Yeah,
ago,
Gidley has a
Gidley has
well.
one, but they probably, whoever drilled it didn't tell anybody, hey, keep in mind we hit rock this far down up through this point.
Wow. Surprised.
I don't know. That's interesting, though. I mean, in a sense, but
I mean, you think about sand and then clay around here, but you don't think of
Yeah,
rock
apparently it's a
layer.
pretty good rock.
On that chain
Wow.
machine.
well, that'd be good in a sense of no shifting, too much shifting with all that rock. Just have to dig through that. Okay, council, let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna take care of the informational items now. Any comments? Anything that we need to pass along?
We have our upcoming city cleanup toward the end of this month. We'll get information out about that. I'll get with the Keep Lytle Beautiful folks and coordinate all that.
Yep.
Can we
So
make sure they send this to me so I can throw it up on our signs out there?
yeah,
Yeah.
That way I can make sure.
we can go ahead and put it out there and get the stuff out and be able to advertise. We still need to. Have we talked to the school yet? Or we need to close the loop?
No, I will call the school tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to coordinate with the school for.
Yeah, the parking lot?
Yep.
Yeah.
the
Does
parking
Lytle
lot.
Beautiful coordinate that, or does the city need to coordinate
I've done that previously.
that? Okay.
But if you want to do it as city administrator, yeah, just call over to
I get it on the
central office and they'll give you a right away, okay.
It's been helpful just so we can go ahead and plan that out. It's been good, and we're still getting 4, right? 4 dumpsters.
We get up to 16 a year to use.
Yeah.
So if we want 4 that day, I can coordinate to have 4. Coordinate the location.
We filled one here before, and we filled 2 pretty much all the way out there, but I don't think we filled the 3rd one, so I think we stick with 4 right now and see how we do.
Okay.
If we need to add another day,
Let's do the 4.
We'll get together. I'll make sure we get it on our calendar. The locations we're going to put on what's
And the
better.
bulk goes effective with waste management 1 October.
The what? I'm sorry.
The bulk pickup to once a quarter.
Once a quarter. I think it starts November. I think it's what the
Okay.
contract said, right, Jesse? I think waste management was November. Yeah.
So we probably
Pick it up this month?
they're still picking
Yeah,
up this
they're
month.
still picking
yeah.
up. They're still in the current.
Yes.
Yeah. So we probably need to get that word out to tell folks, use the dumpsters since they're going to be.
Another quick thing, I'm gonna send a letter out, just because in the new budget, we're gonna start billing those, what we used to have for idle accounts. So I'm working with, billing to, find those. They're gonna work through the tax office to get me good addresses for people and just send them a letter saying, hey, FYI, this is our plan, we're gonna start billing those to recoup at the minimum. If you don't want it, call us and we can get you disconnected from our system, but you're connected. And I found out apparently there's people on there that have been deceased for 20 years. And for 20 years, every month, we drive out there and read that meter to see it still says 0, to just not do anything about it. So,
So we need to take care of those things
That
too.
probably won't work for them.
Probably won't work for us, but.
Okay. Anything you want to pass on? Department heads, Super Skip, we have anything else? We need to do library, animal control, nothing else. Okay, so let me go ahead and, Charles, do you have anything you want to pass on?
You should.
Nope, okay. No problem. Hey, make sure you send us your address. Look for an email. I think Paola sent you, so you'll be able to get that. Okay, informational items that we have. A few things I want to cover. The first one is just the well project closeout date is coming up. It's going to be, this is on the new well that we have on the 30th of September. We still have a few open items with that need to be taken care of. We got an update today. Matt got updated, so there's a few things that they're going to go ahead and take care of between now and then. The one thing for sure, council, that is not going to be taken care of is going to be the paint. We know that for sure, and the insulation, because they got to wait for this special paint that's hard to get. So we'll probably be getting it sometime in October. We'll go ahead and paint it and then put the insulation that goes along with that. And I know James and Reese are working closely with them to go ahead and do that. So it's still an open. They got till the 30th for them to finish off, and we'll be getting some help from our legal assistants in case if for some reason we need to go beyond that, besides the paint and the other stuff that goes along with that. Want to go ahead and once again thanks Public Works. Appreciate everything that you guys been doing between the projects, last minute things to do with the valves, the brake and all that. Just being able to kind of balance things out and at the same time get prepared. These guys worked really hard, stayed up throughout the whole night, showed up the next day and just kept pressing along, trying to take care of the city needs and everything that needed to be done. So I really appreciate that. Richie, thank you so much for everything with notifications, getting people
That's the
aware.
easy part.
And Matt, the same thing, getting the right notices done, the boil notices, reaching the right people, TCQ, coordinating. I tell you, I've gotten a lot of kudos from different folks, people in San Antonio that heard about it, that I get to meet once a month with them, and they just said, hey, you guys were very systematic. Everything's flowed really good. They keep up with what we're doing. So we're setting the example how to be able to do that, and working closely with our businesses, working closely with the HEB. I think we actually had some good decisions. So we were able to keep the school going, able to keep the business going, give them a chance to kind of figure things out of what they needed to plan on so they could go ahead and be working during the boil notice without any major disruptions. And they had good solid plans with that. And I can't thank you guys enough for everything you did. That made a huge, huge difference for us.
Mr. Mayor, I heard a rumor that you were out there all night too. Is that true?
I heard they were having fun, so I couldn't miss it. So
I would say kudos to the mayor.
no, I appreciate that, but we all care about our community, and I care about them making sure that they're taken care of. So being out there and just watching them. At one point, I saw James, just like he was at the well with his head down like this. Yeah, I saw him like that. I don't think he was tired. He was just praying. He was just praying. We were a little bit. I will say we were a little bit concerned. Remember, James? We were just worried about how long. Just like they found rock,
Yeah.
over at the neighborhoods, we found that there was concrete on the valves, so they had to break all that, and it just took longer. But James kept telling me, no problem. We'll get the pumps going, and sure enough, I wrote it down. 4:30, we got water flowing. In 25 minutes, we had 20 psi, if I'm not mistaken, and within 35 minutes, we're up to 40. It just and they were.
The new well did its job.
It worked out really good, and I got to give kudos to Team Crews too. Those guys are just unbelievable, being able to take care of and figure out things, and not only with the response with the leak, but then with the valves and making sure. It was a whole team effort and just coordination, and it worked out really good. Special thanks to Animal Care and Control with Bella's Pantry. Santi, you guys are hitting home runs. I appreciate it. The last 2 months, you've been there, taking care, lined everything up. I think the numbers are going to look the same for next month. How many people we took care of. It is unreal. We go there. How many cars are already waiting for us at 7:15?
all other, because they're already along the side of the road, so about 20, maybe
Yeah.
20 or more. Great line.
We haven't even opened yet. We don't open technically till 8. We always start at 7:30, 7:40. And there's 20-something cars already lined up waiting. And you saw how many customers, 92 last month. So, I mean, it is, and we'll get the numbers and we'll let you know. But that has worked out really good. Thank you for the extra effort and coming in and making sure that runs very well to you and the team. And please, also the canopy right there. I think it was Rachel that put it up, right? So kudos, appreciate that. That worked out. Special thanks to the city staff for all the assistance with the tax rate and the budget work. You guys have done an outstanding, just catching up. It's really amazing how far we have gotten in the last few months with all that. So and setting us up for next February too. Matt, and I know we got a lot of help with the electronic signs and doing the training and everything else that goes along with that, but I've gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of people, just a home run, how they get their information. It's helped us out with what we had with our water, along with advertising for other things. So I appreciate everything and working with the chamber too with that. So, and it's pretty cool. You can take care of it. I give him a call no matter where he's at, and he can update the sign. It's just unbelievable.
So the new
technology.
emergency management laptop, I've got the software loaded, but they've got to enter their parameters and stuff for this sign. So once that happens, the police department will have access for immediate programming if needed from anywhere.
Yeah.
As long as they got the internet connection.
So Matt was able to take care of the signs, take care of website. It was boom, 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 and Richie was pushing out too. So that worked out really
And
good.
it takes everybody, because it takes a whole bunch of people to get all that done. You can't do it with team effort.
So it was awesome. It was awesome. Special thanks to the city staff. You guys, I mean, you talk about efficiencies and trying to figure out things. I just want the council to know. So these guys are going to be saving us around $19,000 in electricity in the coming year. In our budget, we used to spend about $3,000 plus on energy bill for this building, and EMS are tied into the meter. They took it upon themselves to actually change the temperature in here and play around with it over the weekends at night when they go home, just by changing some settings on there. And we went from $3,000 something to now $1,600 a month. Drastic change, in a sense. So kudos to all of you for taking the time and figuring out how we can actually save a little bit more money and kind of keep that so we can continue to take care of our community. So I appreciate that. That has made a huge difference on there. Little reminder before I start talking about some of the other activities and stuff to council. If we have something on the agenda and you want to provide some feedback, you want to provide some input, what I ask of you is please send it directly to our city administrator, city secretary. Do not include all of our council. It's very important that we kind of limit interaction, even though we might not be talking, but we might provide some perspective. And it's important that we actually kind of separate ourselves from each other until we all get together and we talk about stuff. So if there's an input on anything on the agenda and you have some concerns, what I do ask of you is please send it directly to our city administrator and city secretary, and then we'll deal with it once we actually talk about it in here. We got the National Night Out, so please, Richie, can you send me the electronic flyer on that so I can actually send it out?
But I'll try and create one.
Yeah. So
I don't think I've ever done one now that I think about it. I think Miss Compa did one she put in the mail. But
whichever, see if we can put something together or something we can post, even the emblem, so we can send it out, so we can go ahead and remind folks. Also, a reminder, and council, I know you have one of these, put it on there. We got St. Andrew's Church has a big Oktoberfest on the 9th. It's from 11 to 11, pretty much. Sam, anything you want to talk about on that?
No, just there's a bunch of food booths, and we're going to have people selling like purses and jewelry, stuff like that. Music starts at 3 and ends at 11.
And this is one of their big fundraisers, so
Yes, yeah. in the past, they made so much money, they already paid for that building, now they're gonna start, working on it and making, expanding it.
Yeah, and they, I tell you, they come handy. We have had some families that needed some needs with whether it be with the pantry or the clothing. They have so much stuff over there to help out people that are in need. So they use a lot of the money to help some folks around in our community, without a doubt. So please pass the word around. Tell folks to show up and help them out. It's a great event and be able to do that. We got Christmas decorations starting up, in a sense of working on them in October. So we're going to start, you're going to see a little bit of work on that. Our community center is going to start getting a little bit limited because we're going to need to use the space to kind of prepare ourselves for that. Just a reminder that our next meeting in October is going to be on a Tuesday. The 10th is a holiday, so it's going to be on a Tuesday on the 11th. So please mark your calendars on that. Reminder for any nominations for citizen or individual or group of the year at the end of October. So please continue to talk to your constituents, our citizens, let them know there's an opportunity for us to recognize. We'll need to put something together and submit them to provide justification for our committee to go ahead and look at that. Do want to say congrats all the way around to a lot of Lytle students, from the band to the track. I mean, all the way around. Our Pirates are doing a great job in representing our community and showcasing themselves. It's great getting the calls, people reading the newspaper in Houston or somewhere else, and I get a call and say, hey, I heard that Lytle actually, kicked butt out of track. Or, we had some folks from up north that went to the band competition that I know and said, hey, the band was down here, and they were talking about it. So,
second place
and they
on
took
Saturday.
second place. Yeah, I know. That is great. So please support them. They still have a lot of stuff that is going on. So if you have a chance, please go out there and support them. Birthdays that we have, I know we took care of Super Skip, just in case something happens. Folks that might not be here, but we need to recognize, we got Juan over at Public Works on the 27th, and then we got Danny on the 7th of October. So I think Richie will probably sing happy birthday to him. What do you think, David? Yep, we'll be able to have some fun with that. Those are the ones that we know of. Please share if there's a few that we actually have. Any last minute? Anybody else? Okay. It is 8:46. Can I have a motion for us to go ahead and adjourn?
Mayor, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Okay, got a motion? Got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate everything.